Welcome, and thank you for joining us. I'm Laurie Clark, CEO of Onyen Corporation, ESG Reporting Made Easy. And I'm here with my guests today, Catherine Stretch of Troilus Gold, Mark Thorpe of INV Metals, and Matt Lilko of Palangio Exploration. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining me. Excuse me. We're here to discuss the Onyen platform, and I wanted to invite all of you to have your views put forward as to your experiences with the system itself. So Catherine, if you could lead off and tell me what your experience has been to date.
Well, I would say we've had a great experience to date. We had been looking for a solution for our ESG reporting, and we were introduced to Onyen and Laurie a couple months ago. We've had a very helpful onboarding experience. We've had someone hold our hand all the way through as we have answered all the questions, guiding us as far as what type of content we need to be including, and helping us with the final report to make sure it looks good and is easy to read.
That's wonderful. It's great to hear that. And what about you, Matt?
Well, the ESG reporting solution you've created has been excellent in helping us on our first time establish benchmarks that we can use to continuously improve. This was our first foray into the world of ESG reporting, and we now have information to go forward on how to improve our operations.
That makes me feel really great. What about you, Mark?
Oh, I think, Laurie, from the time that you and I started working together, this has been a pleasure, because I have been working in this field for 30 years more, and finally I have a platform that works for us properly rather than fighting with spreadsheets every day. So I'm absolutely thrilled to have this, and I think it's going to be a game changer related to ESG reporting and getting that value that people have worked so hard to get out into the public domain.
Now, we don't have a lot of time today, so I'm going to jump around with some of the questions, and I want you to be as really forthright as you can be, because I think that the juniors and the mid-tier firms and the small caps have to understand the availability of options to them. And Onyen certainly speaks to that tier of company in the resource sector, both mining and metals and oil and gas. Now, what compelled you? What would have compelled you to take this system, to look at this system? Mark?
Well, for me, Laurie, it's always been complicated to obtain data from various sites and around the world and get it into one location, get it into a format at which it can be presented easily. With Onyen's platform, I can get my guys in the field to upload the data. I can then review it with them, and it makes presenting and capturing the information so easy. And that's the best thing in the world for me with ESG reporting.
That's excellent. Thanks. What about you, Matt? What compelled Palangio to do this?
Well, one of the things a junior explorer can do best is secure their social license to operate, and that's through good community engagement. And we found the Onyen platform would allow us to not only tell that story, but have that story be situated in a way that the reporting agencies could understand in their own metrics about how best to objectively rate us and give us access to capital pools that are linked to those rating agencies.
That's excellent. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm glad that you mentioned the financial aspect of this, because that is ultimately the point of all of this, isn't it? It's to present your ESG performance so that you can access, and smaller firms can access, well, smaller to mid-tier firms can access alternative sources of capital. What about you, Catherine? What was it? What was what possessed you to do this?
Well, we have been looking at really focusing on our ESG platform for the past year and a half or so. But as a junior company, we've got limited resources in terms of people, in terms of funding. We don't have huge departments to address this. So as we looked at the landscape for ESG reporting and all these different types of reporting, it was hard to figure out exactly what we should do. Which one should we follow? How did we decipher all the information? So having it all in one place on the Onyen platform and removing that overlap, now we're able to report to several different standards, and we're able to deliver that to our investors and potential investors. And we know that increasingly they are looking for this information. It's part of their investment decision, and it's something we need to address now.
Okay, what is unique about this platform? I know that there were two elements that had to come together on our side in order for this to be created, and that is the capital markets expertise, of which we are very, very conversant in. We come from capital markets. The partners and I, we come from regulatory, we come from exchanges, we come from trading, settlement, and clearing systems. We come from understanding what the investor point of view is. We understand exchanges because we've been on them around the world. And we had to have that element come together with the ESG expertise in mining, metals, and oil and gas. And so those elements had to come together in order for this system to be as robust as it is and to address the client needs. But what is unique to you? What is it that compelled you, and what is it that you see as really answering your needs? Catherine, Ms. Wall, start with you, please.
Yeah, I mean, what really appealed to us is the ease of use of the system. So yeah, people working in different offices and different locations are able to collaborate together, fill in different parts of the form, figure out, you know, where we need to find more information. So it was very, very easy to use. We could not have imagined when we started out that it would be this straightforward to put together a report that is, you know, world-class standard, and we're really able to show to, you know, major institutional investors in North America and Europe and in Asia who really want to see what we're doing, and also to share with our stakeholders in the community, just have it available to them and let them know that we are on top of it.
That's great to hear. Coming from the capital market side of the equation here, I know how imperative it is to actually have a system that's going to take your data and present it to the investing public and the institutional investors, so that ultimately you will enter into those alternative funding channels.
Supported by the data, it gave their investors a whole new perspective.
Very important for small companies to start reporting, because if the information is not available to investors, they will simply exclude the company from.
It makes you dream when you will be a big company.
Gives investors a more standardized basis for comparing various companies.
It is the asset owners who are demanding such factors.
Have it all in one place, like a control, you know, Houston's system.
I found it to be very collaborative and a great experience overall for our team.
Has a really good name, Onyen, because you can really go layer by layer.
Efficiency.
You've come up with a reporting system which incorporates a number of the standards that are out there, helps people navigate.
Clarity, the fact that the questions were simple and direct, and that we knew what to answer and where to place them.
There's a lot of cool functions to your system.
What about you, Matt? What is the uniqueness?
I would have to second the idea of collaboration. I mean, especially in our era of remote work, being able to frame a lot of Palangio meetings around working through the Onyen process together. It was a very easy and collaborative tool to work together. And it was also very exciting to loop back to what I said earlier, that through this platform, we will gain access to investors and capital that we would not have with the absence of this tool itself. So that was quite exciting.
That's great. So the system itself, we've tried to make it really simple to use. We've made it very consistent for everyone so that we can, so that's the smaller players, the mid-tier and down within the industries, the resource industries, can actually now challenge the larger companies in their reporting mechanisms and present themselves in a greater fashion. So tell me, what is the one feature that you enjoyed? What was the one feature of the system? Because there are several. There's a shared application, as you mentioned. There's the audit trail and versioning. There's the extracts. There's the trends and benchmarking. There's all the standards in one location. There's corporate targets. There's dashboard view with API integration. There's reference ranges so that you know immediately when you input the data what is going to come out, where you stand with the ratings agencies, the calculations that carry forward in the system. What was the one thing that you really enjoyed? Matt, just one.
The fact that it had combined many of the rating agencies' specific requirements and also provided information and research that we could review as to how they developed those requirements. That would have taken a tremendous amount of individual research, and it's all been consolidated into one platform. So it was a good learning experience as well as process.
Excellent. And what about you, Mark?
I like the fact, Laurie, that I don't have to worry about so many different things. It's all built in. I just input the data and the rating agencies get the information they need.
Excellent. What about you, Catherine?
An interesting thing for us as we transition from being an explorer developer and look to the future to becoming a producer, there's important things we need to think about in the future. So this helped us identify some of the things we need to be planning for in the future as we continue to expand our ESG platform.
That's excellent. I'm so happy that you joined me here today. Catherine Stretch of Troilus and Matt of Palangio, Matt Lilko of Palangio Exploration, and Mark Thorpe of INV Metals. It's a pleasure having you here, and please enjoy the rest of the conference.